One of the biggest issues for Georgia Southern is that they have to tackle. That is no bones about it. Georgia Southern will have to tackle against this game against Nevada. Nevada is coming into this game 1-1. We are going up to Nevada at 0-1. We lose to Boise. They just won their first game of the season against Troy, which was pretty much kind of like a nail biter, and they had to come from behind to win. But nevertheless, we have to handle business. What Georgia Southern needs to do, basically, tackle. We need to tackle. We're going to talk about that and everything under the umbrella. This preview right here, give you my thoughts and opinions. Thank you, everybody who's been watching the show, subscribing to the channel, watching the podcast, looking at the videos, the new viewers, the new subscribers, even people who gave us respect throughout the Boise State game. They came through and decided to hang on and see what we're going to do with this season as Georgia Southern Eagles. So we cannot disappoint. We're getting new fans from across the country, and they want to see us play Nevada, and they want to see us beat Nevada. So with that being said, thank you guys. I can't thank you enough. Let's get right into this. Nevada comes in this game with a pretty good running game, and that's one of the biggest things that I'm worried about. Last game, Genty ran all over Georgia Southern for 6 touchdowns, over 200 yards. We still made a game out of it. It wasn't the end of the world. We still made a game out of it. We could have won the game with a few breaks going our way, and we could have executed. But now, with Savion Red coming in after running for 135 last game against Troy, we need to find a way to stop that. Put this team on his back and make them throw the ball. Now, they do have some decent receivers. Jaden Smith, 6'6". That dude, is going to be hard to cover with size like that. Lewis, their quarterback, was very efficient. Brendan Lewis was very efficient, 17 of 20 for 158. So if we can get them one-dimensional once again, we should be able to win this game if they're passing more, because I don't think they can outpass J.C. French and the rest of this offense. When you have J.C. French can throw the ball to guys like a Dalen Cobb, which has had a great game, a great game last game against Boise, had the touchdown. Even Durham Burgess came on late. Love to see him make a catch or 3. And you also have Tyler Fromm, the tight end, who can make catches as well. Not to mention the running backs. You look at Jalen White and you look at Jalen White and you look at O.J. Arnold. Both of these guys can run the ball. Hopefully we'll see a little bit more of them in the running game, because we weren't able to see enough of them as much. Even though that Jalen White had 3 touchdowns, we still wasn't able to get the running game going. So the main thing is we cannot give up big plays. We cannot let these guys run all over us. The running back, the receivers, the quarterback looked very efficient. I did not watch the game, the Troy Nevada game. I am very curious to see what kind of passes these were, because you only completed 17 passes for 158. That's less than 10 yards a pass. So I don't know necessarily what they did. I only watch little snippets of the game. But what I will say is we still got to make sure this team gets, off the field offensively. We get on the field and we move the ball like we did against Boise State. We should be able to win this game. ESPN, which I don't really put much weight to, they're giving us like a 36% chance to win. I think the odds are we're underdogs by 3, which, if margin for error or whatever the case may be, that's basically a toss-up. But at the end of the day, Georgia Southern's going to have to find a way to take the lead and take command early and often. Don't let these guys get anything on the ground. I think the passing game, if they're able to pass the ball, I think we'll be fine, because I just don't want it to be a situation where our defense is getting beat up, because if they're passing the ball, we're going to have our chances with our secondary to get some turnovers. You got guys like Tyrell Davis, who already have an interception on the season. You got other guys that are back there who can make things happen. We should be fine on that end. But with that being said, it all stops to starting to run. You got to make them pass the ball. With us, I'm not too concerned with the way our offense is. I think Nevada has a fairly decent offense, but I don't think they have enough to really stop what we can do. I mean, when you do have guys that can actually make a few plays, you got some guys like Drew Watts who led the league, led the team in tackles and 4 solo, 1 tackle, 1.5 tackle for loss. Christopher Ross also had a tackle for loss, but you had some guys that was there that was actually, around. So I want to see what this defensive line looks like. Chad Brown where I think he's a defensive back. I want to make sure I get that right. Chad Brown was a defensive back who also was, second in tackles against Troy. So you kind of see what you got here. A lot of the guys who are making tackles are, the guys that are, kind of like in the secondary or whatever the case may be. Drew Watts is their middle linebacker. Obviously, he's going to be one of the guys that's going to make tackles. So you got guys that are out there like a Chad Brown, and you have other guys like Christopher Ross who are actually making some tackles, doing some nice things out there. But at the end of the day, we should be able to make some things happen and get a few stops. If we can get a few stops, we should be able to take control of this game and win. I would love to see Georgia Southern try to take control of this game. One thing that I noticed that a lot of guys are saying on our end is that we're not doing a good job of dominating games like Georgia Southern football used to be. And I know we're going back a little bit when you say things like that, but people want Georgia Southern to be that way. People got to understand Georgia Southern was a pretty good powerhouse in the FCS, and I know it's been but 10 years since we've been out of the FCS. We've had some success in the FBS, but we haven't taken off, especially since Coach Clay Helton has been with the team. 6-7 is not going to cut it. And with that being said, we're going to have to make some things happen here. We're just going to have to make some things happen, at the end of the day. So when you look at all these players that are coming in, that front seven, that looks like they're going to be able to try to make some things happen. Because outside of Chad Brown, which I want to make a correction. Chad Brown's like a defensive back that's getting up there making tackles, but everybody else up there, they're the ones that's making the tackles. Crawford, Watts, Tanji Kai. I can't pronounce his last name. Then you have Henry. I'm gonna just say Henry I because I can't pronounce his last name either. You got some guys that are up here that are actually trying to make things happen. And at the end of the day, we're gonna have to find a way to not let that be the reason why we're getting stopped. They can get all the tackles that they want, but they need to get tackles after we make big yards or whatever the case may be. And also, Savion Red did have a fumble the last game, so that's something to be mindful of. Let's see if we can take an opportunity of that, make an opportunity out of that if he has an issue with fumbling. So overall, I think that this preview, I'm kind of a little bit weary because Georgia Southern can make things happen, and I want to see them make things happen. I think they're going to be able to put points on the board, but we have to tackle. We have to make a way to stop what these guys are doing offensively. Offensively, there was nothing flashy what they did. Less than 160 yards passing. Total was 179. When you look at both quarterbacks who did play, I think this quarterback AJ Banco. Yeah, the other quarterback came into play. He had one pass. So you don't have much to hang your hat on, something to look out for, but you cannot ignore the running back, Savion Gray, and even Patrick Garwo, who had 2 touchdowns in the game. But you cannot overlook that. You got to stop the run. Find a way to stop the run, and you should be fine. You got to find a way to tackle. But other than that, y'all let me know what y'all think. I'm sitting here just wondering, man, if we can make this happen. I think we can. I'm not sitting here saying that we can't, but we have to make something happen when we go up against, these this Nevada Wolf Pack. So let me know what y'all think. I'm gonna get up out of here, and I'll probably be going live on the game. So I'll let you guys know if I do. I'll make a community note or whatever, and I'll talk to you guys then. All right, y'all. I'm out. Peace.